Hey, I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician with over 20 years of clinical experience. And today I'd love to discuss with you for the next few minutes psoriasis and 7 things that you must avoid if you're trying to naturally treat, cure, reverse, improve your psoriasis. Millions of people around the world suffer from psoriasis, and it can be a debilitating disease. For the last 20 years, I've been taking care of patients in my practice with psoriasis, and their psoriasis would get so severe sometimes that they wouldn't even come out in public. They would send their spouse on errands because they were too mortified at the condition of their psoriasis. And this has always saddened me that someone's body would betray them so much that they couldn't even be themselves in public because they were worried about what their skin looked like and what their body was doing. So let's talk about psoriasis and 7 things you can do to absolutely decrease the symptoms, decrease the severity of the plaques. These 7 things are not going to cure your psoriasis, but they will improve it so much that you probably won't need any prescription medications, and indeed will be happy to go out into public and not have to worry about that. So psoriasis, first and foremost, is not a skin problem, and that may come as a little bit of a shock to you, but there's nothing wrong with your skin if you have psoriasis. The problem lies in your immune system and in your immune system's inappropriate response to things in your skin. Your immune system is attacking parts of your skin that it shouldn't be attacking. It's causing more skin cells to be produced than should be produced, and that's why you wind up with the inflamed, itchy, red, built up plaques of psoriasis. And so when you stop thinking about psoriasis as a skin problem, then immediately some of the things I talk about below tend to make sense. And so first and foremost, let me just tell you, nothing that you put on your skin is going to meaningfully improve your psoriasis because it's not a skin problem. The problem is much deeper than that. And so any of the topical lotions, creams, potions, ointments that you might buy online or buy in a drugstore, they're not going to help at all to treat or improve the underlying condition. Now, they may make the plaques less noticeable, the flaking decrease, but that's not actually taking care of the problem, is it? That's just treating the very, very surface of this. So please don't waste your money on any of the things that you put on your skin. They will not help your psoriasis in any meaningful way. Save that money for the 7 things I'm going to tell you down below and the changes in your life that you need to make to get those things where they need to be. So your immune system is not overactive. Your immune system is not too strong. These are inappropriate ways of thinking about psoriasis. Your immune system is confused. That's how to think about this. And when you think about this properly, then the 7 things below start to make more sense. But most of the big pharma houses, what their drugs do is they weaken your immune system. Now, obviously, you don't want a weak immune system. That doesn't sound good, because if you have a weak immune system, that increases your risk of infection and cancer. Your immune system watches out for those things. And so, but that's what all the big pharma medications do. And I'm going to explain to you why this is just makes no sense whatsoever. So there is a genetic predisposition for psoriasis. There's no doubt about that. We can look at the research and see that it follows family trees. But just because your genes load the gun, only what you put in your mouth and put in your environment can pull the trigger. And so you may have the genetic predetermination to have a tendency towards psoriasis, but your genetics are by no means a guarantee that you will have anything more than the mildest psoriasis with a tiny plaque somewhere, which is easy to hide or just easy to not worry about. So if any of the big pharma medications, which are all expensive and which all modulate your immune system, and by modulate, I mean they make it weaker, which is not a good thing. The topical ones that are prescription they're just as dumb as the over-the-counter things that you put on your skin. So all the creams, ointments, lotions, they may improve the outer look of the psoriasis, but they don't work on the disease process in any meaningful way. So don't waste a penny on those. The current biologics, some which you take, some which you inject, they literally weaken your immune system so that your immune system is so handicapped that it can't fight what it thinks is a problem, right? And remember, your immune system's confused. It's not overactive. It just doesn't understand the difference between what is you and what is not you. That's the problem with psoriasis. The symptoms show up in your skin, or worst of all, in your joints with psoriatic arthritis. But the problem is not that we need to weaken your immune system. That's not the solution here. But all of the biologics have a black box warning on them, which is something that the FDA makes drug manufacturing companies put on the product if it has a very dangerous potential side effect. And all of the biologics that weaken your immune system increase your risk of serious life-threatening infections and serious life-threatening cancer. And so hopefully you can use the 7 things below and you won't have to take these very, very expensive and potentially quite dangerous prescription medications anymore. Now, I've linked all the research that I used to make this video down below. You can click on those links and learn even more about your psoriasis and what to do to reverse it. The enemies that you're actually trying to fight, remember, it's not an overactive immune system. That's dumb. That's not what's going on here. It's a confused immune system, and it's chronic inflammation, and it's chronic hyperinsulinemia. These are the 3 things that you're actually going to try to fight to have a meaningful improvement, a meaningful reversal of your psoriasis symptoms. And so let me give you a good example. The body surface area of your entire body is somewhere between 1 and 1.5 square meters. Okay. And so that's a relatively small area. The surface area of your gut from your mouth to the other end is somewhere between 32 square meters and 250 square meters. And it depends on how you calculate this and what you count as surface area and what you don't. But on the very best, your gut has 30 times more surface area than your skin. And so what are you putting in your mouth that could be inflaming your system? Because if you inflame your gut, that inflammation is going to go to other parts of your body. If you inflame your lungs, that inflammation is going to go to other parts of your body. And if you have the genetic predisposition for psoriasis, then that inflammation is quite possibly going to show up with worse psoriasis for you. And that's what these 7 things are going to help you to avoid. You might consider sharing this with someone who has psoriasis, or even share it with a dermatologist who may not know this information yet. Indeed, back when I was a young and ignorant doctor, the first few years of my practice, I would prescribe you the most expensive prescription for your psoriasis. I thought I was doing a great thing. I thought that's what a good doctor should do. And now I virtually never prescribe those things because I've actually found that you can reverse and improve your psoriasis so much that you don't need those dangerous and expensive things. Now, let's get into the 7 things you need to avoid to improve your psoriasis. And I didn't list these in any particular order, but I think you might be surprised by the last one, number 7, because not a lot of people have heard of it, but there's definitely anecdotal research that shows that it is a problem. So first and foremost is tobacco products. Whether you smoke them, dip them, chew them, or whatever else you do with them, they cause inflammation in your lungs and in your gut. And that inflammation translates into worsening psoriasis if you have that genetic predisposition. So many of my patients through the years who had psoriasis were also smokers. And they would not believe me when I told them, your smoking is absolutely making your psoriasis worse. You have to quit the tobacco products if you have psoriasis, if you ever want to get off the meds and make your psoriasis meaningfully better. Number 2 is sugar. All sugars, whether they comes in a bag or a bowl or the little container you tear the top off of, or whether it comes in honey, agave, nectar, grapes, bananas, All this sugar causes hyperinsulinemia in your body, which is one of the three things we're trying to fight here, and that's going to flare up your psoriasis. Okay. Next is grains, and this is all grains, not just wheat. There's lots of research that shows that whether you have severe gluten allergy or just a very mild reaction to gluten, gluten definitely makes psoriasis worse. My theory is that all grains, to at least some degree, will make your psoriasis worse. And so avoid wheat, also avoid oats, rice, corn, amaranth, millet, quinoa. All these things they are plant seeds, and the plant does not want you to eat their seeds, or they will not reproduce. Therefore, there are poisons in the plant, not quick poisons that'll kill you immediately, but slow poisons that will cause inflammation in your body. Avoiding all grains has helped some of my patients markedly improve their psoriasis. Next is number 4, alcohol. Alcohol causes inflammation in your gut. It causes inflammation in your liver. This inflammation gets translated to other parts of your body. And if you have that genetic predisposition for psoriasis, indeed, it will make your psoriasis worse. I would avoid all alcohol products, especially beer and wine, but you may even have to avoid the hard liquors and just be a teetotaler if you want your psoriasis to be virtually non-existent. Next is number 5, seed oils. And so these are oils that are chemically made in a factory from things like rapeseed, grape seeds, safflower seeds, sunflower seeds. And so the oils you should avoid are canola, corn oil, soybean oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, walnut oil, any of the oils that have a very high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio are going to cause inflammation in your gut. And then, of course, I'm not even going to say it, you've already figured it out, that causes inflammation in other parts of your body, including your skin. So avoid all the seed oils. Use real fat to cook with and real fat to season your food. Use butter, use ghee, use bacon grease, use lard, tallow, suet, real things like that. And then if you want to use a plant oil, use avocado oil, olive oil, those or coconut oil. Those are good, healthy oils that don't cause much inflammation in your body. Number 6 is dairy. And this comes from a previous milk baby. I used to drink a gallon of milk a day back when I played football in school. And I thought it was going to make me have big muscles and strong bones, but all it really gave me was dandruff and allergies and a runny nose all the time. Get rid of all the dairy. And now let's be clear about this. It's not the fat in dairy that's causing the inflammation in your gut and your skin. It's the lactose and it's the inflammatory dairy proteins. Now, some people find that if they drink raw milk or A2 milk, that it doesn't seem to cause inflammation. But since humans are the only mammal on the planet that drinks the milk of other mammals, I think that's probably not a very natural thing to do. And so I still use butter and ghee and sometimes some full fat cheese and other things like that. But as far as low fat or skim dairy, you've got to get that out of your mouth. That will, and I've had people tell me that just getting dairy out of their diet made their psoriasis incredibly better. And so number 6 is get the dairy out of your mouth. Now, number 7, the one you may have never heard before, is nightshades. Nightshades is a kind of plant, and it includes potatoes, tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, tomatillos. They basically all came from one plant that humans have crossbred through the centuries to make all these different things. But you can Google nightshades and or you can DuckDuckGo nightshades and figure out what's going on with these, what are nightshades, and then eliminate them from your diet. Now, you may have tried dietary changes before for your psoriasis and said, that really didn't help anything. But so many of the dietary changes are based on preconceived notions and based on semi-religious beliefs. But these 7 recommendations are based on the ancestral appropriateness of these things, number 1. Number 2, the paleo anthropology of these things. Number 4, my clinical experience. And number 3, which I missed, the clinical research, which I linked down below. So I've based these 7 recommendations on those 4 things. I I don't have a dog in this race, so to speak. I don't care if you eat veg or meat or use this oil or that oil. It's not about that. It's about what the research shows, what human beings have done for the last 250,000 years, and trying to calm down the three enemies: the inflammation, the immune system confusion, and the hyperinsulinemia that's leading to your severe psoriasis. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please take a second and click the subscribe button and the little bell button right beside it. That way, every time I have a bright idea, you'll be one of the very first people to know. Also, if my videos have helped your health a little bit, then you can sign up for my Patreon account. There's a link right down there. You can sign up quickly and throw a buck or two my way so that I have more time to make videos just like this. This is Dr. Barry. I'll see you next time.